plaintiff, Latoya Etheridge, met the defendant when she was attending the University of Alabama, and they became roommates. Latoya claims after they moved in together, the defendant moved in his alleged brother, and she's suing him today for unpaid rent. Defendant Desmond Gambrell says when he first met the plaintiff, he thought she was a good person, and they always had each other's backs. After they moved in together, Desmond claims things went downhill, and Latoya harassed him so much that he was hospitalized. Desmond is countersuing for personal property.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Me and Desmond met our freshman year in college through a mutual friend. I'm no longer with that mutual
What college?
Alabama State.
Good school. Is President Lee still the president?
No, he isn't.
Okay.
President Harris is there now.
All right. Is Joe Reed still running things down there?
No, they took his name off too.
They took his name off the stadium?
Yeah, they stole some money.
Yeah.
Don't stop. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
That's not true.
It was over.
That's not true. Stop it. He's my
It is. Both of them.
I know Joe Reed and I know Dr. Lee, and they would do no such thing. Those are trumped up charges, and they were railroaded, if anything. Go ahead now. Go ahead.
Our sophomore year, we had moved into a hotel because they didn't have enough housing. They had upperclassmen staying in a hotel. So we vibed really good. You know, I kind of thought he was gay, so I thought we vibed real well. And we had decided to
I hope
move
the
in.
man is gay and you're not just talking stuff.
No, I'm not. That's untrue.
I mean, there's nothing wrong if he is, but define a man by his sexual orientation correctly.
Yeah, that's
All
just
right.
what I had figured because
All
I
right.
figured, you know, it was good moving somebody that was a guy that
All right.
I felt comfortable with.
Go ahead.
We had decided to move into an apartment together. We had signed a lease and everything. So a few weeks after we had signed the lease, he had moved his brother in, and he said his brother was going to stay in the room with him or whatever. I was like, whoa, what's going on? Hold on now. I ain't put that in the lease. So he had decided he was only going to stay there for a few weeks and he was going to find his own apartment. I said, that's fine. So then he started moving in furniture. He started moving in bunk beds. And I was like, hold on.
The brother.
Bunk beds in a room. That means he's staying here longer than what I thought. So I asked, I said, Desmond, when do your brother plan on leaving? He said, well, I think he's staying to the end of the lease. So I said, you know, we need to figure out some payment plans. He can't stay here for free. That's not gonna work out. So after that, we started having a lot of problems. We started fussing and fighting in the house. He started eating my food, blaming it on each other. One ate my food. They ate an 18-pack of hamburgers in 1 week. How you gonna eat all my hamburgers in 1 week? You must have ate it morning, noon, and night.
Let me allow him to give some background.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, anyway, I met Toya, as you said, freshman year. I thought Toya was a good person. She, whenever she was going through something, I always had her back, or whenever I was going through something, she had my back. That's why I felt that we could move in together. The part where my brother moved in, that was from summertime because there was no housing available for him on campus, and this was his second year. It was supposed to be temporarily,
Right.
but he couldn't find anywhere else to stay. So I had talked to her, and she said, okay, that's fine. You know, he can just help out on the bills or whatever.
She didn't have a problem with it then?
No.
All right.
And so as it went on, the roommate situation got worse because of the fact that like a month before the rent was due, she would harass me about paying the rent. And I would tell her, you know, I'm going to pay the rent. Oh, well, Desmond, you need to pay the rent. She would put slide notes on my door. She would call my parents constantly, and they would call me during class and say, Desmond, why your roommate calling me? And I'm like, I don't know. I'll talk to her when I get home. So it just kept getting worse. And because of the situation, I got sick in the spring semester, and I had to end up going to the hospital.
Because she called you and asked for rent?
It was just keep harassing.
Harassing you how?
She would send me notes and letters and
Saying what?
saying the
They
first one
send
would
you
say,
to the hospital. What has she said to you that caused you to be hospitalized? Because you come across as a much stronger person than that, than someone saying some things to you that causes you to be hospitalized. What did she say?
Okay, for instance, going around campus and telling people that she was going to take me on Judge Mathis, and she was
That
going...
caused you to be okay. Yeah, that might cause you to go to the hospital. You're right.
Also,
You're right. That may be a good way to avoid getting this
and
whipping I'm
because
about to put
she
on.
had people in and out of the apartment. And when I went to the apartment, like one night she had people in the apartment. She wasn't even there. She was at work, and they had bleached the apartment floor. They was in my room, and they was just doing... I don't know what they were doing. They were drinking and everything.
There.
Okay.
And my brother couldn't even sleep. He was studying at the time. And I was like, well, it just got bad.
All right, and you called the ambulance that night?
No, I didn't.
Did you call the police?
Go ahead. Go ahead, ma'am. What rent does he owe you?
He stopped paying rent in March for 3 months. After February.
Did he give a reason?
No, he didn't give me a reason why he didn't want to pay rent. He stopped coming around in January because he lost his car and he didn't have a car to get to campus. We stayed 20 minutes away from campus, and I wasn't going to take him to
So what
school.
months are you suing him for?
March, April, and May.
All right.
April, he paid $100. So he only owes me $321, $221, $321.
All right. Sir?
I do admit that I did not pay them 3 months. And also before then, we had split the rent to half and half. And when January came, she had already made money orders for the months coming in to the last months of our rent. And I had told her, you know, I didn't agree to pay because I was paying majority of the rent and she was paying less of the rent.
Is
so
this
I paid
after
majority.
your brother moved in?
It was way after.
So your brother was living there?
Yes.
And you expected her to pay half and half?
Yeah, but me and my brother split the part that we supposed to pay. We split that part to pay.
Well, then she shouldn't have had to pay
master-
half. Go ahead, so you don't get it. Go ahead.
And because that's what the agreement was from the beginning when we first moved in the apartment was to split
When
it
did
half.
the agreement change?
The agreement changed in November when we decided that in February he was going to have to pay $321 and $275, which gave his brother 3 months to find a job.
Right.
That way I give him ample amount of time. You can go home, try to find a job, and come back, and you got $50 more on the rent. That's it. He agreed. He paid $321 in February, so how he gonna be confused now?
Sir, was $321 paid in February?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
What are you talking about? What's your defense?
Basically, my defense is it was constant harassment of my family, and then
What did she do to your family?
She kept calling my parents, my mom and my
About
dad.
what?
Kept asking them about my rent when it was going to
That's
get paid
collections.
and stuff. And
Do you
and
call
I
the
tried to-
ambulance when other collection agencies call you?
No, sir.
And tell your parents to tell them I'm in the hospital,
actually-
mama. Tell them I'm in the hospital. Tell them I
Actually,
can't
was-
pay.
It actually was because I had really got sick because of school and stuff, and I was trying to do all that. And
You
then
said she caused the illness.
She did, and
Your counterclaim for personal property for $1,340. How does she owe you for that?
yes, sir. Late in June when we moved out of the apartment, I went back to get my stuff, and they had told me that Toya had moved out. So I went to the leasing office and spoke to the leasing office, and they said that we didn't touch any of your things. And
When did you move out?
In June.
So you stayed there every night from March through June. How often did you stay there from March through June?
Maybe a couple of times.
You only stayed twice
Yes, sir.
between March and June.
Yes, sir. And so people.
Why did you leave your things there for 3 months?
Honestly, I wasn't thinking.
Just like you weren't thinking when you thought this woman should pay half of you and your brother's rent.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you went back to get your property. She wasn't living there. Was your property still there?
When she moved out, okay, this is how I built up. People came and told me on campus that your roommate was telling people on campus that she was going to sell my stuff. And I said, well, Toya is not that type of person. So I said, well, let me ask Toya for myself.
Did you?
I tried to ask Toya, but when I saw her on campus, she would walk towards class or she'll walk the opposite way. So I was like, okay, well, maybe.
Why didn't you go and get your things? Bottom line. Huh?
I was going to get my stuff.
And
But
what happened?
When I got there, it was
She
gone.
wasn't living there.
And when I noticed that when I got to the apartment, the obvious thing was that her food was still in the refrigerator.
You haven't proven your case, sir. As you said, she had moved out when you went back. Mm-hmm. Your claim is dismissed. Judgment for the rent on behalf of the plaintiff, $863. Have a good day.
We won't be friends after this. My credit is messed up, so I don't want nothing to do with him, but I'm gonna keep it respectful because we have to see each other on campus.
Basically the same thing. And I wish her the best in life. I don't wish anything bad on her.